This is Herman Cain. As you know, we have another live interview that we just happened to run into somebody, General Michael Flynn, the first person that I ran into when I got into the Q Center, General Michael Flynn, who I got to tell you, I didn't know a lot about him, but I've learned more about him recently. I am totally impressed. General Flynn, thank you for being with us.
Thanks so much. It's really an honor to meet you and to bump into you. So thanks so much for doing this. And for your audience, this is awesome.
This is why they have conventions, so people can bump into one another and exchange views. But I am very proud of you and really appreciate what you're doing. Question number one, how long were you in the military?
I was in the military for over 33 years.
And it means that you probably know something about the military, being in that 33 years.
33 years. I served. I retired as the senior military intelligence officer for this country and the head of one of the largest intelligence agencies, not only in the United States, but in the world.
And I heard in one of your interviews that during that whole time, the president never talked to you directly.
Not once, never once. He actually appointed me to two jobs, the assistant director of national intelligence and the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and never talked to me at all.
How important is it?
Unbelievable.
I know it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
When I heard you say that during the interview, I couldn't believe it. You know,
that just shows, that just shows how, frankly, how disconnected this president is as a commander-in-chief in that hat, to his military. And it's sad because he's got there's so many of us that want to be able to make sure that we're part of this conversation with him because we want to help him, because we want to help this country.
You know, when you said that, I immediately saw a distinction between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a listener. Barack Obama has not been a listener. What's the importance of us rebuilding our military?
Yeah, there are so many complex threats around the world today, and yet our leadership right now in the White House is downsizing our military. I mean, that's not smart strategically, and it's definitely not smart tactically on the battlefield. We put the lives of our men and women that are out there on the battlefield at risk. And strategically, we put our nation at risk because of the complexity of the threats from China, Russia, North Korea, cyber, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have got to regain the readiness in our military. Readiness is number one, and then the right sizing to make sure that we have a military that can actually meet the various threats that we're facing.
Does the structure and culture of our VA system need to be totally restructured? Blow it up and put it back together.
Yeah. And so on our veterans system, Veterans Administration, the number one thing that has to happen is accountability. We have got to have accountability from top to bottom. And we cannot have any of these people that are leading this organization that don't feel like they're accountable to the veterans. I'm a veteran now, and I'm going to tell you, for me to live in Virginia and to be sent by the Veterans Administration to West Virginia for an eye appointment, I'm not kidding you.
I know you.
I drove to West Virginia, which is a great state, but I drove to West Virginia just out of sheer curiosity because I was like, no way, this can't be true. But they gave me an address to a strip mall in West Virginia to an eye appointment. I'm not kidding you.
I'm sorry to laugh.
I'm not kidding you.
It's so sad that you can't do anything but laugh.
I got an optometrist right up the street from my house.
Wow.
I could have walked up there. It's insane. So that's an example of how broken that system is. Yes. And then the other thing about the veterans and our Veterans Administration, we have to step into the 21st century. We have to digitize everything. Right. When I left active duty, I had to make 3 copies of my health records, Xerox copies, paper copies. This is 2014, so this is only 2 years ago. Wow. And then physically mail them in the snail mail to the Veterans Administration. How crazy is that?
It is crazy.
That's right.
If asked to serve in a Trump administration, would you consider or would you serve?
Yeah, I have talked to Donald Trump about this, and what I have told him is that I love this country. And I feel very passionate about where I'm at today. I wouldn't be standing here talking to you if I didn't care about the direction that this country must take. And so I would just leave it at that. He's got some big decisions to make. Right. He's making all the right decisions. His pick of Mike Pence was brilliant.
Yes.
And people are going to question and do all these things. But actually, he did a very, very smart thing to win. And this is what it's about. And when we talk about winning, this is what this guy is about. And that's what I'm about. And that's what I want this country to be about. We need to talk about it more often instead of just participating in all these things that we get ourselves involved in.
Right.
And that's business, that's trade deals, and that's, conflict. So anyway.
General,
Yeah.
one of my new heroes that I finally got a chance to meet. Thank you, sir, for your service. And thank you, General, for being involved in this process.
Thank you, too, and thank you for all that you say and do for this country and that you have been doing for this country. Your voice is so important in what you're doing, and thank you for that. So,
thank you, General.
Anyway, super. Dynamite.
I'm Herman Cain. Thank you for watching.